It's one of those days, lots of sunshine, but quite a cold wind, but still a great day for walking on the moor. Our leader for today is Kay, and plenty of people have turned up to support her and enjoy the moorland sunshine. Bennetts Cross, here we come. We're all walking down to Bennetts Cross, which is the official start of the walk itself, but we couldn't get in the adjacent car park. It's absolutely full with another walking group. Bennetts Cross was probably erected at this spot for two reasons. As a marker for this route, long before the road was built, Bennetts Cross, and to mark the boundaries between the parishes of Chagford and North Bovey. And 25 people we've got today.
It's a bit difficult to distinguish between the Cross and Norman, really, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, they've both got beards.
No, I can say they're both the same age.
Whilst Kay gives the usual talk about where we will be walking, let's have a closer look at the route we'll be taking. From Bennetts Cross, we head for Birchtor, and then on past the Headland Warren farm to Grimspound and up to Huckney Tor. Then it's across Huckney Down below Kingstor and on to Heathercombe. We then continue to Natsworthy Manor and gradually move up to Hameldown for lunch. After lunch we continue along Hameldown, passing the various barrows and Hameldown Beacon, before heading down to Lower Blackiston and on to Susans Wood and Farm. From there we join the Two Moors Way, passing the Golden Dagger tin mine and back to Bennetts Cross, a distance of approximately 11 3/4 miles. The central route of the Two Moors Way passes quite close to where we are walking today, but we're taking a slightly different route. A walk on this part of the moor is a walk over history. The whole area was mined for tin, and in many places we are walking over collapsed mine workings without really realising it, the Birchtor and Vitifer tin mine. But some are more obvious than others. Like all mines on Dartmoor, they are both now discontinued. Birchtor is the first tor we visit, which offers some great views, particularly towards the Warren House Inn. But it's time to move on, initially heading for the Headland and Warren farm. This ancient farmstead has at its centre a Grade II listed 14th century longhouse. It is set in 593 acres of Headland Warren Common. The farm is owned by a Dutch family who keep Dartmoor ponies in the enclosed fields. Certainly got a lot of people on this walk, and it does make it a little bit slower than we normally have, but everyone's keen to get out in the sunshine. I think that's Huckney Tor up there. Looking back from where we've just come from. One of the most difficult aspects of having large walking groups is keeping everybody together, which isn't surprising really, as we all walk at differing speeds. It's a case of stopping and waiting for people to catch up. This is Huckney Tor. Grimspound is a late Bronze Age settlement and consists of 24 hut circles surrounded by a low stone wall. Here come our intrepid walkers. Little do they know they're going to go up to the top of Huckney Tor. In 1893, the Dartmoor Exploration Committee began a dig at the Grimspound site, which didn't reveal an awful lot. However, reconstruction took place of some of the site, a move criticised by some of the committee at that time and by later researchers. Grimspound really falls into perspective when looked at from above, as in this aerial shot. The name Grimspound was first recorded by the Reverend Richard Potwheel in 1797 and was probably derived from the Anglo-Saxon god of war Grim, Woden or Odin.
That's the main part of Hookney Tor, or shall we say the very summit.
Hookney Tor, and we're stopping for a coffee break, but it was difficult to find a spot out of the wind.
Looks like tea break or coffee break's over, so we're going to move on again now.
We initially head towards Shapley Tor, but very shortly we'll be making a right turn and head across Hookney Down towards Heathercombe Break, and eventually Heathercombe itself.
It's a lovely day, but the wind is rather cold on occasions.
In the far distance is Shapley Tor. And this is where we turn off and head towards Heathercombe. Walking across the open moor can sometimes, in poor weather, be a place you just don't really want to be. But today, it's fantastic.
Walking across the open moor, looking for this plane that came down.
I don't think I've ever seen so many paragliders on Dartmoor. I would have thought it would be too windy today, but apparently not.
So we're doing pretty good.
The trees in front of us don't look as though they have been naturally seeded. I'm not sure why this has been done, and at this time of the year it's difficult to determine what sort of trees they are.
Coming down into Heathercombe, I think.
This is one place on the moor I don't think I've been to.
That must be Heathercombe then.
Yeah, this is higher Heathercombe.
Right.
It does show on.
In the Bronze Age there was a number of settlements all round this part of the moor, and there is still numerous hut circles and other evidence of human habitation. Claude and Margaret Pike created this estate to conserve the special environment of Heathercombe, and it is now a woodland trust. The majority of this local forest was planted between 1966 to 1991 by Claude Pike, but it looks like their time has come and they're now being felled. But it does make the area look entirely different.
More evidence of forestry work here. Bit of the forest that hasn't been chopped down, or at least a lot of it hasn't.
I've been many times to Natsworthy by more conventional routes, but never via Heathercombe.
We're at Natsworthy Corner now, or Natsworthy.
And I didn't really recognise the area until we came out of the woods onto the heathland.
Just stop for a short drink and people want to take some of their clothing off because it's getting quite warm now. Here we go again.
There now follows a steady uphill climb to Hamel Down, but we are now getting close to a piece of history and possibly lunch. There are quite a few World War II aircraft crash sites on Dartmoor. Although I knew of this site, I wasn't exactly sure where it was. The Hampden aircraft was returning to the 49th Squadron HQ at RAF Scampton, Lincolnshire on the 21st of March 1941, but crashed here at 22:50 hours due to bad visibility. The plaque was added to the boulder in 1991. It's almost 74 years ago to the day.
Here we go again. Time to move on.
The trek across Hamel Down is well indicated and fairly straightforward. In good conditions, there's not much danger of anyone straying off course. In poor conditions, well, it's a different story.
Just wondering what the origin of these poles that are sticking up all over the place on the moor here.
The various posts that are sticking out of the moor are relics from World War II, which were provided to stop enemy gliders from landing, or at least that was their intention.
Hamel Down.
Many of these barrows, cairns or tombs, whatever you like to call them, were left by Bronze Age settlers, and indeed some have been excavated, as in the case of the two barrows in 1872, where a hilt was found, decorated with semi-precious stones.
Lovely.
We have at least 8 specific beacons on Dartmoor, and this is one of them. There are many theories why they were provided and when, some going back to prehistoric times, and used for guiding people or warning them. There is much debate.
There is Heathercombe.
Dartmoor seems to have been almost abandoned in the 14th century, and it may be due to the Black Death, when up to half the population died. Perhaps people even moved down to sheltered areas at the time.
We've done about just over 7 miles or so. Wonderful.
As you can see, quite extensive swaling seems to be in progress, and it almost looks like it's getting out of control. We're now leaving the moor and heading for Lower Blackiston before going on to Susan's plantation and farm.
This lane seemed to go on for a huge distance. Coming to the bottom now and onto a road for a little while. Come the remainder of our party. Okay. A little bit of road walking now.
This section of road walking will take us up to Susan's Wood. The road here is relatively quiet, so it's not too bad. And we still have some great views across the moorland and some more close at hand.
Gorse here. Absolutely fantastic.
This gorse not only looks fantastic, but also smells of coconut. Quite intoxicating. We've just reached the turnoff that leads to Susan's plantation. Following the track alongside the plantation, and in the distance we could hear hunting horns and the baying of hounds.
There's a lot of screaming and shouting going on.
The hounds appeared to be following the scent of a fox, either laid down for them or the real thing. Whichever, they certainly were keen to get on with the job. Very quickly we're surrounded by hounds. A mere fence was not going to stop them. Some underneath and some over the top. Riders quickly caught up with the back stragglers, and they were soon on their way. In the confusion, I forgot to ask which hunt this was. I suspect it's the South Devon hunt. Our route now takes us through Susan's Down, which is really a forest area and again has been subject of quite a large amount of forestry work. This appears to be the end part of the various remains of the mine. The main parts are further back along the Two Moors Way. The Golden Dagger mine got its name from a prehistoric gold and amber handled dagger that was found nearby. The mine commenced work in the 1800s and was rich and successful for over 100 years.
The tour we passed this morning.
Moving further along what is now the western route of the Two Moors Way, the signs of tin mining are once again all around us.
Another part of the mine, I feel, or the mining workings.
This particular disused building, I believe, is part of the Vitifer mine and not the Golden Dagger. Here again we're walking through collapsed mine workings. Today can best be described as a walk through history. The weather has been a mixture of highs and lows. A keen wind has kept the temperature down, but in sheltered areas the sun has been really warm. A great day for moorland walking. See you next time.